Have you noticed how the strongest parts of your body, the legs that once carried you without a second thought, now seem just a little less certain? Maybe you felt it when you stand up from a chair, when stairs feel taller than they used to, or when your knees whisper complaints after a short walk. It's easy to blame age. We're told over and over that getting older simply means slowing down. But here's the truth few people say out loud. More often than not, it's not your birthday candles that are stealing your strength, it's the small, ordinary habits you repeat every single day. The scary part? Most of these habits look harmless. They don't hurt right away. You don't wake up one morning unable to climb stairs. The change is quiet, gradual, almost invisible, until one day you realize you've lost a piece of freedom you didn't even know you were giving away. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. 5 everyday habits, simple, familiar, and almost invisible, that are silently weakening your legs and joints. The good news? Once you see them, you can change them. And when you change them, your body will thank you, with strength, stability, and the kind of freedom that makes every step easier. Because here's something I've learned, after years of listening to stories from people just like you, it's never too late to fight back. The body is more resilient than we give it credit for. And sometimes, all it takes is awareness, and the willingness to shift the smallest daily choices, to feel the difference. So, if you care about keeping your legs strong and your joints moving smoothly, stick with me until the end. You might just discover the exact change your body's been waiting for. And while you're here, if this message matters to you, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you won't miss the next step in protecting the strength you deserve. Now, let's explore the very first hidden habit that could be quietly working against you. It's something so ordinary, most of us don't even recognize it as a threat. Sitting. And not just for a few minutes, but for hours at a time. It happens in front of the TV, at the dining table, behind a desk, or even while scrolling endlessly through a phone. The body was never designed for stillness this long. Your muscles, especially in your thighs, calves, and hips, are meant to be activated, stretched, and challenged. When they're not, they gradually lose their tone, their endurance, and their ability to support you. What makes this even more dangerous is how silently it happens. You won't feel an immediate wave of weakness. Instead, there's a slow loss of muscle fibers, a reduction in blood flow, and a stiffening of the tissues that once moved freely. Researchers have found that after just 2 weeks of significantly reduced movement, older adults can lose up to 30% of their leg strength. That's not aging, that's neglect. And it's a choice we make without even realizing it. When your legs stay still, your joints begin to suffer too. Cartilage relies on motion to receive nourishment. Every step acts like a pump, moving vital nutrients into the joint space. But when you remain seated for long stretches, that pump shuts down. The result is stiffness, aching knees, and a shrinking range of motion, making you less likely to move, and trapping you in a cycle that feeds on itself. Breaking that cycle doesn't demand anything extreme. You don't need to join a gym or train for a marathon. All it takes is standing up every 30 to 40 minutes. Walk to the kitchen, step outside for fresh air, or simply march in place for a minute. These small actions keep blood flowing, muscles engaged, and joints well lubricated. The difference might seem subtle at first, but over time, those tiny movements can mean the difference between legs that weaken and legs that stay ready for the life you want to live. And in the years ahead, those moments could preserve not just your mobility, but your independence. Habit 2. Fueling your body with the wrong foods. If sitting quietly weakens your legs through inactivity, this next habit works from the inside out, slowly inflaming the very joints you rely on every day. And the surprising part is, it's not about rare or exotic foods. It's about what's already on your plate, 3 times a day, year after year. Many people underestimate just how much diet can determine the health of their joints. But the truth is, every bite you take either calms inflammation or fuels it. Diets high in refined sugar, fried foods, and processed meats don't just affect your waistline or blood pressure. They trigger a constant, low-grade inflammation that seeps into your muscles and cartilage, making them more prone to stiffness, pain, and eventual breakdown. Over time, these microscopic flare-ups create an environment where the tissues cushioning your joints wear away faster than they can repair. You might not feel it after one dessert or one salty snack. But over months and years, the damage compounds. Knees start to ache after short walks. Ankles feel swollen at the end of the day. Even simple movements like bending to tie your shoes become a reminder that something isn't right. The shift begins with awareness, knowing which foods help and which harm. Lean proteins like salmon or sardines bring omega-3s that soothe inflammation. Dark leafy greens provide antioxidants to protect cartilage. Fresh fruits rich in vitamin C support collagen production, the very fabric of your joints. It's not about rigid dieting or giving up every comfort food forever. It's about tipping the balance in favor of nourishment, not harm. If you start replacing just one processed meal a day with something whole and anti-inflammatory, you will give your joints a fighting chance. Because in the end, the meals you choose are more than just food. They're either quiet builders of strength or slow thieves of mobility. And that choice, made over and over, will shape how easily you move 5 years from now. Habit 3. Skipping the exercises your legs actually need. Some people think, well, I walk every day, so I'm covered. And yes, walking is fantastic, keep doing it. But here's the truth no one wants to admit: walking alone is like watering a plant without giving it sunlight. It helps, but it's not the whole picture. Your legs are made up of several powerful muscle groups: quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and glutes, and they all need more than just forward motion to stay strong. Without targeted strength training, these muscles slowly lose their ability to support you, especially when you need stability the most, like stepping off a curb, getting out of a low chair, or catching yourself if you stumble. Think of it this way: if you only ever lift grocery bags with one arm, that arm gets strong, but the rest of your body just watches. That's what happens when we only walk. We train certain muscles but neglect the rest, and neglected muscles get lazy. And lazy muscles are terrible at catching you when life throws you off balance. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to fix this. Squats using just your body weight, calf raises while brushing your teeth, or stepping up onto a sturdy platform while holding onto a chair, these small, controlled movements can rebuild strength you didn't even realize you'd lost. Here's the fun part: you can work these exercises into your daily routine without feeling like you're working out. Do calf raises while waiting for the kettle to boil. Try a few squats before you sit down to watch your favorite show. The key is consistency. These tiny moments add up in a big way. And before we move on, let me ask, are you finding these tips helpful? If you are, give this video a like so more people can find it, share it with a friend who needs stronger legs, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, your legs will thank you later, and so will your future self when you're still dancing at 80. Habit 4. Not drinking enough water. Here's a habit that sneaks up on almost everyone, especially as we get older. Not drinking enough water. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I drink coffee. I drink tea. I sip a little juice during the day. And yes, those all have water in them. But your joints, muscles, and even your brain still crave pure, clean hydration the way a dry sponge craves a bucket of water. Without it, things start to, well, squeak. Let's talk science for a moment. Your joints are cushioned by a substance called synovial fluid. Think of it as nature's WD-40 for your knees, hips, and ankles. This fluid reduces friction, keeps cartilage healthy, and absorbs shock every time you walk, climb stairs, or bend down. But here's the catch: synovial fluid is mostly water. If you're chronically dehydrated, there's simply less of it. The result? Joints feel stiffer, movements become creakier, and you might even hear the occasional snap, crackle, or pop. And no, that's not your breakfast cereal. Muscles suffer too. Dehydrated muscle fibers can't contract as efficiently, which means your legs tire faster, recover more slowly, and are more prone to cramps. This is why dehydration is one of the top hidden causes of nighttime leg cramps in older adults. Add in the fact that blood becomes thicker when you're low on fluids, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your muscles, and you've got a recipe for weakness you might mistake for just getting old. Now, here's where it gets tricky. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally dulls. Your body can be running on empty and you won't even feel parched. By the time you do feel thirsty, you're already mildly dehydrated. It's like waiting for your car's gas light to turn on before thinking about filling up, not exactly the best maintenance plan. So what's the fix? Make hydration a habit, not a reaction. Aim for about 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, more if you're active or live in a hot climate. If plain water feels boring, add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or a few berries for flavor. You can also eat your water. Foods like watermelon, cucumber, and oranges are over 90% water and can boost your intake naturally. And please, don't try to catch up by chugging a liter of water right before bed unless you enjoy late-night trips to the bathroom. Spread your water intake throughout the day, and start with a glass first thing in the morning. That single habit can wake up your metabolism, flush out waste products, and give your joints an early dose of lubrication before you even take your first step. A final thought, think of your body like a well-tuned machine. Even the best engine runs rough when it's low on oil. Hydration is your oil. Keep it topped up, and everything runs smoother, your joints, your muscles, your balance, even your mood. Neglect it, and you'll feel every squeak and groan with each passing year. So, here's your friendly reminder, drink up. Your legs, your joints, and probably even your bathroom scale will thank you. And who knows, you might just start to feel a little lighter on your feet, both literally and figuratively. Habit 5, sacrificing sleep and expecting your body to forgive you. If there's one thing I wish I could convince every person over 60 to protect like a priceless treasure, it's sleep. Yet for some reason, so many of us treat it like a casual hobby, something we'll get around to when life slows down. Which, ironically, is exactly when our bodies need it most. Think of sleep as the overnight repair shop for your body. The moment you drift off, a team of microscopic mechanics gets to work. Muscles damaged from daily use are rebuilt, joints are bathed in restorative fluids, and your brain flushes out the day's mental clutter. It's like hitting the reset button for your body and mind. But here's the problem, those mechanics are on a strict schedule. Cut their shift short, and you'll wake up with the job half done, achy knees, sluggish legs, and a mind that feels like it's running on yesterday's batteries. Science backs this up. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, not the kind for building beach muscles, but the type that repairs tissues, strengthens bones, and maintains muscle mass. If you're shortchanging your sleep, you're essentially telling your body, don't worry about the maintenance, I'll just run this machine until it breaks. Not exactly a winning long-term plan. And here's the kicker, lack of sleep doesn't just leave you feeling tired. It messes with your balance, slows your reaction time, and makes your legs more prone to injury. Ever noticed how you stumble or misstep more easily after a bad night's sleep? That's not clumsiness, that's your nervous system running on low power mode. Of course, the irony is that as we age, getting good sleep can feel harder. Hormonal changes, aches and pains, even late-night worries can keep us awake. But this is exactly why we have to take sleep seriously, not as a luxury but as essential maintenance, just like eating well or exercising. So, what can you do? Start by creating a bedtime ritual that signals to your body it's time to power down. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Avoid screens that blast blue light into your eyes and trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Keep your bedroom cool, quiet, and dark, the perfect cave for your body to recharge. And yes, I know, cutting back on late-night TV or scrolling your phone in bed might feel like a small tragedy. But here's a bit of humor for you, your favorite shows will still be there tomorrow, but your cartilage won't grow back overnight if you keep missing sleep. Another tip, watch your caffeine. That innocent cup of coffee at 4 p.m. can still be dancing in your bloodstream at midnight. Switch to herbal tea in the afternoon, your future self will thank you. Now, here's the real payoff. When you start prioritizing sleep, you may notice your legs feel steadier, your joints less stiff, and your energy more consistent throughout the day. Tasks that used to drain you, climbing stairs, walking to the store, even standing in line, suddenly feel easier. That's not magic. That's your body finally getting the maintenance it's been begging for. So, here's the truth no one tells you: skipping sleep is like skipping oil changes on a car you plan to keep forever. You might save a little time now, but you'll pay for it with breakdowns later. And unlike a car, you can't trade your legs in for new ones. If you've made it this far in the video, that means you care about protecting your strength, your mobility, and your independence. And that's worth sharing. So, do me a favor, hit that like button so this message reaches more people, share it with someone who might be sabotaging their own legs without realizing it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video in this series. Your future steps, and maybe even your future dance moves, will thank you. There's a man I'll never forget. His name was Samuel, 74 years old, with silver hair, kind eyes, and a smile that could outshine the morning sun. But when I first met him, he wasn't smiling. He was sitting on a park bench, staring at the ground, as if the weight of his own body had become too much to carry. He told me his story. Just 5 years earlier, Samuel had been the kind of man who could climb stairs 2 at a time, carry his groceries without thinking, and walk his granddaughter to school every morning. But somewhere along the way, he began to slow down. First, it was the little things: skipping a walk because it was too cold, choosing the elevator instead of the stairs. Then came the aches in his knees, the stiffness in his hips, the quiet voice in his head that whispered, maybe this is just getting old. One day, Samuel fell in his kitchen. It wasn't a bad fall, no broken bones, but it shook him. He realized he had been giving away his strength, one small choice at a time. And that day, something in him snapped. Or maybe it woke up. He started small. 10 minutes of walking each morning. A glass of water before every meal. Simple stretches before bed. He swapped his nightly soda for herbal tea and began eating more vegetables than he thought he'd ever enjoy. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't perfect. But it was consistent. 6 months later, I saw him again, only this time, not on a bench. He was in the park, racing his granddaughter across the grass, laughing so hard his cheeks turned red. His knees still creaked, his back still complained sometimes, but he moved with a freedom that made him look years younger. Samuel told me, I thought I was losing my life because of my age. But I was really losing it because I stopped moving, stopped caring, stopped believing it could be better. The moment I decided to take it back, everything changed. So, if you've been waiting for the right time to take care of yourself, let me tell you what Samuel learned: the right time is now. Start small. Start messy. Just start. Because every step you take today is a step toward the life you want tomorrow. We spend so much of our lives waiting. Waiting for the perfect day, the perfect plan, the perfect version of ourselves to show up before we start. We tell ourselves, I'll take that walk when my knees hurt less. I'll eat better when I have more time. I'll sleep earlier when things finally calm down. And in the meantime, the days slip by. The weeks become months. The months become years. But here's the truth: there is no perfect moment coming. Life will always be a little messy, a little busy, a little inconvenient. If we keep waiting for everything to line up just right, we'll be waiting forever. The people who stay strong, steady, and joyful into their later years aren't the ones who live without challenges. They're the ones who take what they have, even if it's not ideal, and do something with it today. They walk 5 minutes when they can't walk 20. They drink one more glass of water when they're still far from their goal. They stretch for 30 seconds while waiting for the kettle to boil. These small, almost invisible choices are where transformation begins. Not in grand gestures or perfect plans, but in the quiet, steady steps that stack up over time. Every little effort is like placing one brick after another, building a life that feels better, moves better, and is worth waking up to. So if you've been holding back, waiting for some magical day to start taking care of yourself, this is it. This is your moment. Don't chase perfect. Chase progress. Even on the days when it feels too small to matter, it matters. Because one day you'll look back and realize those tiny steps carried you farther than you ever imagined. And if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button so more people can find it. Share it with someone who needs a gentle push to begin. And subscribe to Wise Elders' Tales, where we gather wisdom, stories, and practical steps to help you live with strength, purpose, and joy, no matter your age. Your future self will thank you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll inspire someone else to take that very first step today.